Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Tuesday, and today I wanted to do kind of a serious video about mental illness, but more or less borderline personality disorder. A lot of you are probably like, well, why does she want to talk about this? She hasn't done anything like this so far. Reason being is because I myself suffer from mental illness. Okay. About a year ago, when I lived down in Springfield, I was seeing a therapist as well as a psychiatrist, and it was tossed around that I had borderline personality disorder. So I was kind of officially and unofficially diagnosed at the same time. No one really ever explained anything to me about it, so I didn't know much about it at the time. Well, I went to my doctor the other day, and during the session, the borderline personality disorder, I'll probably refer to it as BPD in this video because that's kind of how a lot of people refer to it. It got tossed around as well. And she goes, I think that's kind of what you're diagnosed with. And I said, okay. So I came home and I went and did a little bit of research on it. And as I'm looking at it, relief kind of flushed over me because I kind of understood, okay, this is the way I am. This explains a lot. It really, really does. And a lot of you are like, okay, well, it's still no excuse for the way you act. No, it's not. It's not an excuse. But I didn't know how to manage it. I didn't know how to handle it. I still don't know how to handle it very well. But the fact of the matter is, I am getting help and I am working on it, okay? In the research, it says that people with BPD can live a normal, healthy, day-to-day functioning life with help. There's different kinds of help. There's counseling, there's medications, there's this new group therapy. My doctor even recommended that for me as well. So I'm going to look into it and see how well that works for me. So I'm taking all the different steps into helping myself live a better life and bettering myself and everything. So basically, what BPD is, it's instability in your life. You also have very rapid mood swings that can last from a few hours to a few days. It doesn't matter. It can last, like I said, anywhere from a few hours to a few days. It is very commonly misdiagnosed, according to the research that I looked at and some information I had gathered from my doctor as well, because it can be mistaken for bipolar disorder or any other mood disorder or personality disorder. No, I do not have another personality. That is not what this is. You can have identity issues, so I understand why it can, why you think that, okay, well, she has another personality. No. I mean, it's just, I don't see it that way. I don't know if you ever look into it and you read it, okay, well, it's possible. Whatever, cool. It's just, it's a mental illness, and basically you have instability in your life, your relationships, your work life, your day-to-day life. It's hard for you to deal with certain things in your life. It's hard to deal with a lot of things. So hold on one second. I kind of wrote down on a little piece of paper just some highlights and information about BPD, like the highlights and things that I feel like are very important to know. One of the major things that I want you guys to know with mental illness, you are at a higher risk than the general population of self-harming actions, suicidal thoughts, or actions. So please, if you know anybody, yourself included, that shows signs and symptoms of mental illness or shows signs and symptoms of self-harming and suicidal thoughts, please reach out and seek professional help. I can only help you to an extent, but please seek professional help. There are hotlines that you can call. I will attach some numbers in the description. There are websites that you can go to for counseling if you cannot afford general counseling. I tried one of them out, and it was actually wonderful for the time that I used it because I couldn't afford to go get counseling. So check out the description below. So please reach out and get professional help if you need it, okay? Okay. So some of the information that I found, it explains a lot. And I was talking to my best friend yesterday, Sorry, another shout out, Rachel. Thank you for listening. She's been a huge support through everything these past few months, so she's going to get a lot of shout outs in these upcoming videos, most likely. But I was talking to her yesterday and she's like, well, I didn't even know what that was. I had to look it up. And she took it upon herself to look it up and see what it was about. That is another thing. I'll get into more of that later, but that is another thing, especially for family members, friends, relatives, significant others, whatever. You are the key to helping them. You are one of the biggest keys to helping people with BPD. One of the websites I read, it even said, seek counseling yourself to help you better understand this disorder and to help you better understand how to help people, because you will unintentionally sometimes say the wrong thing. You may not mean to and look at the person when they get upset, angry, or whatever and be like, okay, well, I didn't mean anything by it, so why are you getting upset? You don't understand, and that's okay. That's okay, because I would get upset at things like my mom would say, my grandma would say, my friends, my fiance. I'd get upset at anything anybody said that I didn't like or that I took to heart. And it explains a lot because, like I said, you have very rapid mood swings. So you have to take it upon yourself to get the help you need in order to help your loved one. Okay? So some of the information is kind of like, if you know anything about mental illness and bipolar disorder, it's kind of like that, which is why it goes misdiagnosed. It is most common in women, about, I think, 76% is what it said, but men can get it too. It just goes undiagnosed half the time with men because of the stigma that it's associated with women. And that's okay, but hey, if it's all right, whatever. Facts are facts. But basically with BPD, you have difficulties managing your emotions. And for those of you that know me, you're probably sitting there like, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. She's right, because I do. I have a lot of trouble controlling my emotions. I really, really do. I take a lot of things to heart. I feel everybody else's pain and I want to take it away, but I can't do it. Okay, so, that kind of explains a lot. And like I said, you'll have to do more research on yourself if you want more you'll have to do more research yourself if you want more information, because I only kind of wrote down a few things. There are several articles out there. There's books out there. If you want to check out a good book, I had a friend of mine recommend a book to me. It's called I Hate You, Don't Leave Me. You can order it on Amazon for about $11. So I went ahead and I ordered it, and it's a guide to helping you understand borderline personality disorder, okay? So that's one research tool you can use to check into it. Basically, another major key part of borderline personality is instability in your self-image, your emotions, and your relationships. A lot of people with this, myself included, have trouble maintaining stable, solid relationships. And I can vouch for that because I have had trouble with family relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. It's difficult. You can have rapid mood changes, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts and actions. And like I said, people with borderline are at a very higher risk than the general public. So again, I emphasize, if you or someone is going through a hard time and you think because they are showing signs that they may hurt themselves or someone around you, please go get help. Call a suicide hotline, call the police, call a counselor, call a professional mental health counselor. Or just call the police, especially if they're threatening to hurt themselves or someone else, okay? I've had to do it before with someone that I thought was a friend because he threatened to off himself, and I could not get a hold of him after he threatened that, and it scared the living daylights out of me. So I went ahead and called the cops. He never talked to me after that, but hey, it was worth it because he is alive, he is safe, and he probably got the help he needed, okay? So you cannot be afraid of what other people are going to think, especially if you're afraid if that friend is not going to talk to you ever again for calling the cops. You're saving their life. That's all that matters. That is what you need to do. You do have identity issues. So like I said in the beginning, it could be considered, an alternate personality, but I don't see it that way. I really don't. You also have the feeling of emptiness, fear of abandonment, fear of judgment. You have all of that. And lately, I've been feeling empty with everything that's been going on. Like, I'm happy, but I'm not. I don't feel anything. And that's okay. I'm afraid, especially if I talk to my friends too much, message them or vent to them about what's going on, or just talk about myself in general. They ask how I'm doing, so I'm telling them how my life is going. I'm afraid they're going to leave because I'm being so annoying. I'm just afraid everybody is going to leave me and that everybody is pretending to be my friend or pretends to love me, and it's all just one big joke. That's kind of how I feel, and it's hard to explain that for me in words. It's really hard for me to explain that about how I feel, because sometimes I'm good with words, other times I'm not. So it's good that I did this research, because it kind of explains why I am the way I am, and it helps explain to my loved ones and everyone in my life why I am the way I am and why I do what I do. There's a lot of impulsivity, including spending sprees. Mom, Zach, Rachel, if you're watching this, y'all know that I have impulsive spending sprees sometimes, and I regret it as soon as I do it, or I regret it right before I do it. And I know I have a choice. I have my own choice, and I'm working on making the right ones from now on. I really, really am. So I want to make you guys aware of that. But that is one of the signs and symptoms of borderline, is impulsivity, especially spending sprees. That is one of the major keys. Okay, that's kind of how they diagnose me and everything else. Well, that's not the main reason they diagnosed me, but they asked me a couple questions when they first diagnosed me, and one of them was, do you have impulsive buying needs, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, okay. So anyways, moving on. It does interfere with your day-to-day functioning, as well as like your work life. I have lost a couple of jobs because of some choices I made, and I didn't know why I made those choices. But I'm slowly realizing why I made those choices, and now that I have been diagnosed with this, I can get the help I need to make sure I don't make those choices again. So I know I'm friends with a couple of my old co-workers on here. So I kind of want to take this time to apologize to you guys for letting you down when you needed me while I was at work. I loved working with you guys. I loved the environment that I was in. I loved my job. Sometimes it did get a little boring, but hey, there's nothing you can do about that. It happens. But I'm sorry, that I let you down. I'm sorry that I let whatever was going on in my head interfere with my work, and that I didn't get the help I needed when I should have. But I am getting help now, so I hope you'll stick with me through this journey, even if we don't work together anymore. I still consider all of you friends, so I do hope you will stick with me. All right. It usually peaks in your late adolescence, early adulthood, so this explains a lot as to why they couldn't diagnose me when I was younger, because when I was younger and I first went to therapy, it was depression and anxiety. I still am diagnosed with anxiety, but it was depression and it was anxiety, and then it was ADHD, and then it was all kinds of other stuff. So, they could never pinpoint it. But finally, as I got older and started opening up more to my doctors, they diagnosed me correctly. And I know it's just a name. I know it's just a name of a disorder, and that it doesn't, excuse my actions. And I understand that. I get that. But, it's still something I need help with, okay? And I will emphasize that through this video, that I get it, I understand, I know, and I'm sorry that I screwed up. I will emphasize that. It is more common in women, like I said, but it is also very common throughout the United States. There are over 3 million United States cases per year. So it is very common. Now I want to talk about what family, friends, and loved ones can do to help out. You can't judge. I know it's going to be hard because you don't, oh my goodness, sorry, just about knocked my water over. I know it can be very, very hard because you don't understand. You don't understand what we're going through, and that's okay. We're not going to ask you to understand within like a day. We're not going to ask you to understand in like a week. I tell my fiance that all the time. It's not going to take you a day. It's not going to take you an hour. It's going to take you a lifetime, because professionals and the people who suffer with this disorder, they're still learning things about it every day. They're learning new things, and there's nothing that you can do, there's nothing that you can do in a day that's going to help you, I guess, so to say, realize it. I'm going to pause this real quick, and I'm going to find the article, because I didn't really write it down. I'm going to find the article that talks about how loved ones can help with this disorder. So give me about 2 minutes, and I'll be right back, okay? Okay, guys, I'll attach the article down below in the description if you want to read the whole thing. But basically, it kind of pinpoints, you probably feel like you have to tiptoe around your loved one, and that you feel like you can't win. You feel manipulated by fear, guilt, and outrageous behavior. And I want to apologize if I've ever made any of you that are in my life, if I've ever made any of you feel that way around me. I'm so sorry. I really am. I have no excuse, and I don't even know what to say. I really don't. You may feel like everything's your fault. We view things as all good or all bad. It comes in huge waves, like we over-exaggerate, So I guess that is kind of something that is true for those guys, for those of you that say I overreact and everything. But, I'm going to take that to heart because I don't think I am. I think I'm being genuine and very concerned about it. But hey, whatever. Basically, here it says, if you want the major thing, and I will agree with this, if you want to help us, if you want to help people with borderline personality disorder, please take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Because that, in my opinion, at least this is what I want. I want you to be happy before I am happy. I will stand by that statement till the day I die, and a lot of people are like, dude, put yourself first. I get it. I try, but my first instinct is put everybody else first. I know I can be hard to deal with. I know. And I will say that 1,000 times. I know I can be hard to deal with. I can be difficult. I can be annoying and obnoxious and whatever. But I just need you to be there. People with this disorder need you to be there. We need you to be supportive. We need you to not be judgmental. We need you to take care of yourself. Avoid the temptation to isolate. You are allowed and encouraged to have a life. Your life does not have to revolve around me. There are times that I'm going to be like, okay, can you stay in, or can you come help me with this? I need you. But if you have plans, don't cancel those plans. Please don't, because it'll make me feel like crap, like I'm a burden to you. So I'm asking, if you have a life, continue with that life. It is very much encouraged. The best thing to do is join a support group for BPD family members and loved ones. You can even go to therapy sessions with those loved ones, whether it's group therapy or one-on-one individual counseling, or you yourself can seek counseling from a therapist. Even if you don't have issues, it helps to go talk to someone. And it is proven in several articles that I've read that it does help for a loved one or a family member to go talk to a counselor one-on-one. Not the counselor that your loved one is seeing. Definitely don't do that. But go talk to a counselor about the fact that your loved one has BPD and you need help how to deal with it, because it will help take the stress off your shoulders. It will help you relax more, and it will help you understand the disease better, okay? It will really help you. Don't neglect your physical health. Don't let yourself deteriorate. Get out, get exercise, and try to encourage us to get out and exercise with you as well. Don't over push, but push. Give us the push we need, give us the boost we need, but please do not over push. And you have to learn to manage your stress as well, because if you take your stress out on me or anybody else with this disorder, it'll make things a whole lot worse. It really will. It will increase our anger and our agitation. So just make sure you learn to manage that, okay? And here I'm going to read you this little section from this article. It's called Remember the 3 C's Rule. Many friends or family members often feel guilty and blame themselves for the destructive behavior of the borderline personality. You may question what you did to make the person so angry, think you did something to deserve the abuse, or feel responsible for any failure or relapse in treatment. But it is very important to remember that you are not responsible for another person. The person with BPD is responsible for his or her own actions and behaviors. I am aware of that. I apologize for my behavior lately. I apologize for the things I have done. I cannot fix them. I don't know how, and I don't think I ever will be able to fix them. but I can move forward and get help, so I don't keep doing the things that I'm doing, because it's not fair to my loved ones and it's not fair to anybody else, okay? The 3 C's are: I didn't cause it, I didn't cure, I can't, I didn't cause it, I can't cure it, I cannot control it. And the source for those 3 C's is called Out of the Fog. I don't know what that is, but I will attach the link that this little script is in. It's helpguide.org, basically. So what I'll do is I'll attach the whole thing, the whole article below in the description. You have to learn to communicate with someone with this disorder. This article gives like communication tips, how to actively listen and be sympathetic, how to focus on the emotions, not the words. It gives all kinds of different things. Also, key. This is key. I don't have a lot of these. Not anymore, because I'm still getting help, but I can show some of them. So I want you loved ones to be prepared to do what you have to do. Okay, I want you guys to be prepared. Please don't ignore self-destructive behaviors and suicidal threats. That is the main thing. If you want to help me, get me help if I need it. If you feel like I'm going to destroy myself or you or just anything around me, get me help immediately, okay? I don't care what you have to do. I'm giving you that permission. So I'm running out of time here, guys. Sorry this was such a long video, but I will attach several links in the description if you want to learn more about it. And to my family and friends, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching this video if you did. Thank you for being there, and I hope you guys can forgive me for the things that I have done. So I will see you guys next time. And again, check out the description for any suicide hotlines and links to help your loved ones, and just informational links as well, okay? Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Bye.